All right, this is the Bank on Purpose podcast, and I am Texas Bill Pace.
And I'm Jody Ogden. And today we're about to meet Kevin and Marcie Thompson. They're known as a power couple for a reason. They help couples build strong relationships and strong money habits at the same time. Kevin and Marcie are the founders of Couples Revolution. They teach something they call relationship infrastructure. That means you don't just love each other, you build together and on purpose. They teach marriage like a business you both own. Shared goals, clear numbers, one plan. They call it the enterprise of us. Kevin and Marcie are real estate investors. They work in creative finance groups like Sub2 and Gator. They use real estate to buy back their time, and they help others to do the same. They also run Trust Stack HQ. That is where they teach credit stacking. You learn how to grow without risking your own personal money. Fun fact about them is Kevin is a metal artist. He works using fire and color and people collect it all over the place. Marcie is an author. She wrote a book called Obsession, Memoirs of a Minimalist. They live in Carlton, Texas. They build locally. They teach globally. As you listen today, ask yourself this: what would change in your life if your relationship and your money worked as a team?
And here they are, Kevin and Marcie. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the other thing too. Like, I think that's what really piqued our interest for the AI network side of things too, because so many people are like that we've talked to. We're always like, yeah, we're in real estate, but our active income is
Mhm.
struggling, right? So whether you're in a partnership or not, a real partnership, a business one or a personal one,
Yeah.
spouse, what have you, then I think it's something to think about. Something to be prudent. If you're going to be in real estate, at least have an active income that's going to support it.
Yeah, yeah, and I love
Absolutely.
that because and see for you guys are already in AI with like we are in the AI network, but what we do like with our marriage couples when we give them the tools and see what we're doing is we build the infrastructure underneath it. We're just
Mhm.
we
The tracks.
the tracks. We tell people we're not selling trains, we're building tracks. Okay, so we put the infrastructure underneath the train, and we show them different tools. And what we're doing is every week we introduce them to a different type of prompt. And you guys already know what prompts are. So I'm speaking to you as if somebody didn't even know. But a prompt is just a good way to ask a question where you would just put something into Google. A good prompt is a good question
Mhm.
into AI. The better the prompt, the better the question, the better the outcome. And we're showing them, say, listen, now we don't, AI is not here to replace counseling, talking to each other, therapists,
Yeah.
friends, coaches, whatever. But what it does is it gives you a different perspective sometimes because a lot of times
Hmm.
couples be getting stuck and they may be in a not seeing eye to eye and not so much in the same room. Maybe one's at work, maybe one's out of town on work or whatever. And it gives you a chance to just step away for a minute and go, okay, give
Yeah.
a different perspective. And you can put in here, hey, what about this situation here? I'm feeling pissed off at my husband right now because he did this and this. Should I feel this way? Okay.
Before you
That
send
was
the
one of
rant,
the,
before you send the rant text, put it through chat and
yeah.
let's see if it passes the test, and then send it.
Yeah, because and that's one of the things we tell people. And we, in fact, when we kicked off our orientation last night, I mean, we had almost 100 people in the room, and we said, you know what? Sometimes if people need that chance to step away, let them step away. Because what happens when arguments start heating up and get escalated, as the argument heats up,
Yeah.
your brain revs up, and it's just like gunning the engine on a car. And the higher the heat, more heated it gets, the higher it goes, and more revved, and the more you're
Hmm.
thinking like it. You're just thinking like 90 miles an hour, and you get to a point where you're not even really hearing the person. You're just thinking about what you're going to say next from the last comment that you did catch. And so you're playing this catching your tail thing the whole time. And so when someone says, "Hey, I'm just going to step away from it," it gives you a chance to step away from the situation, assess your own thoughts, listen to your in your head what they said to you, and
Yeah.
come back together and then come out with a little bit more calm, collected attitude and mindset.
Yeah. Which works good, whether you're within a couple's mindset, people that are dating, people that are in business partnerships, like understanding like you don't send the rant text, right? You gotta like be respectful of other people's time and talents and understand how to communicate. I think communication, I mean, even in the couples that we were talking to last night, like
Yeah.
the number one thing, I'm like, what do you want to get out of it? Communication.
Communication. And these are people that love each other. None of the people that were talking last night were on the verge of divorce. There was a young couple, good looking young couple in their mid 20s, been married 10 months. And you think, everything's just butterflies and roses. And they go, what do you want to get out of this? We just want to learn how to communicate a little bit better. And communication is the key in a relationship. And people that in your neck of the woods, people that are your clients or your people that are listening that are in real estate, when you have a person in the entrepreneurial world of real estate, it's a 1099, it's not a W-2, and you have somebody that's in the corporate world, the W-2 world, there can be a disconnect there. And we see it a lot, not just a lot, more so than not. So this is the kind of things that people really need to pay attention to
Yeah.
when you're in this real estate realm and you're navigating your way through and you're trying to make that first sale, you're trying to close that first deal, you're trying to get that house under contract, you're trying to flip that house, whatever the cash flow objective
Yeah.
is. And then you don't have that, every Friday or every other week, you're going to have that paycheck come in the mail or hit your bank account with direct deposit. It don't happen that way at first in real estate, folks.
No, I
So
don't.
Well, we've heard so many stories of like people that have gone like a year or 6 months or 2 years, right? So then you're having to have that empathy and patience,
yeah,
especially if you are in a relationship. I mean, that's a long time. And if somebody has been unemployed that long, right, that's similar in nature, right? Not that they're
Mhm.
not employed because they're, going out and doing the
doing the
thing.
thing.
But I think it's having that grace and understanding going, yeah, I understand where you want to go. And this is like entrepreneurial spirit. And this takes grit and grind and work. And sometimes it's not fun.
No, and just from being in the entrepreneurial world, I tell you, I've been entrepreneur my whole life. I haven't had a W-2 since 1992. And even before that, that was a 10-year stretch. And I always had a side hustle. And I've been hustling since I was 7 years old. I was walking around. My dad was a machinist mechanic. He took these gigantic 24 penny nails and put a little file on the side of it and torched them, blew them, kind of like stuff on the wall, and called it a nail file. And I was going door to door selling those to people, telling them the ladies in the neighborhood at 7 years old.
Because he was so cute and had
Yeah,
blonde
yeah, it was
hair.
cute and had blonde curly hair. And then when that played out, then my dad made me a stencil set. You know how you see curb name your house numbers on the curb?
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
made me an aluminum stencil, and I bought a can of black and a can of white paint and number stencils, and I walked around. I painted numbers on curbs for probably a couple years. Did that for a long time, man. Did that all over my neighborhood and neighborhoods all around me. Back when I was little, I'm as old as dirt. You didn't have to worry about your kid getting abducted, so I could go a mile away from my house, and not have, my parents didn't worry about me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and I was out hustling. So, but my point is, the entrepreneurial world it's not for the faint of heart, and you have to have thick skin because a lot of things. So I've hit some completely out of the park. I've had a couple six-figure strikes. I've had a seven-figure strike. I've had a lot of high five-figure strikes. But my point is, I've had some epic failures.
Mhm.
I've had a six-figure loss. We got beat out of a business transaction where we didn't have a contract that was a seven-figure loss. So we know what it's like to win big,
Mhm.
and we know what it's like to lose big. And it's not for the faint of heart. But Darren
Yeah.
Hardy, the editor in chief of Success Magazine, that's been around for 20 some years, 30 years, when he said when people ask him what's the fastest way to succeed, he says double your rate of failure. Now, when you say that to the untrained mind, they go, wait a minute, that's an oxymoron. What do you mean double your rate of failure? The point of the matter is, and
Fail forward.
Yeah,
fail forward.
right.
Thank you,
Fail
Bill.
forward.
Fail forward, because the point of the exercise, you are going to fail. And it's inevitable. And if you study anybody that's super successful, look at the greats. I mean, look at Bill Gates, almost went broke. Michael Dell went bankrupt. I mean, some of the greats, Elon Musk almost went bankrupt twice.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to play at a different level and a high
Yeah.
level, when you take bigger chances, you have bigger stakes on the good side and on the bad side. So
Yeah.
it's not for the faint of heart, but it's an exciting roller coaster kind of life. And I've just got so used to it that I just can't get it out of my blood.
Right.
I'm-
And now I'm addicted.
Now I got her addicted to it. So I got another. She's got the
Are you addicted?
entrepreneurial bug too.
Yeah, so I think that's the main thing that we just continue to share with people. And it's so funny too, because like we're like heading towards that retirement age, and people are like, "Well, aren't you going to retire?" And I'm like, "Well, if I can pour into couples on like a daily basis, that would be my retirement.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, my heart would sing. Like if I could do that, I could take that well into my 90s, like past the walker." So anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
just we're just stoked.
We don't plan on ever retiring. Retiring means dying to me. When you retire, you die.
Yeah.
And you guys know this. If you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. We absolutely love what we're doing. It
Yes.
doesn't feel like work. We're excited. We get up every morning excited to start the day, what we're going to do. We go to bed excited about what we've done. So we feel like we're living our best life. And we absolutely love what we do. And we just love pouring into people's lives.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's all about mindset for sure.
Yeah. And we appreciate times like this, guys, for you guys making a way for an opportunity for us to get out here and share because there again, we're just here to try to help other couples and help people just give them a different perspective on things. So we're very grateful for the
Yeah,
opportunity you
thank
guys
you, thank you.
presented
Oh,
to
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
For
Thank you. Kevin, I want to ask because obviously I'm kind of in the lane where I'm trying to teach kids to be more entrepreneurial at that age because I was the same way. 8 years old, I figured out some neighbors had pecan trees, some didn't. So
Yeah, yeah.
obviously that there's ups and downs in that whole lifestyle. But if you had an opportunity to tell your 9-year-old self, "Hey, this is what it's going to look like. This is what you should do." What would be the best advice you could give your 9-year-old self then?
Good question, Jody. And right now and today, 2026, hands down, no question, I would tell them do a deep dive into AI. Deep dive. There's going to be more millionaires and billionaires made out of AI than any other industry. Remember in the late 90s when the internet was formed? I remember the days of the 56K where you had to paint the screen and make all those quirky, squeaky noises. And we thought that was big. That pales in comparison to this. I listened to Mark Cuban a while back and he was on a podcast and he said, I just got the snippets. I didn't listen to the whole podcast.
Mm.
And he said, when people ask me what you should be doing, I tell every young person, great question, Jody. I tell every young person, you need to take all your spare time and throw it into AI because I'm telling you, AI is going to change. It's a game changer. And you just have to tweak one thing, just a quarter turn, and all of a sudden you have an idea, a business that's going to explode. And that's the mindset that Marcie and I, here in my 60s and her in her 50s, are taking that same thing. Even though we're doing our thing, I can't get a side hustle out of my blood. And just one tweak here or there can
Yeah.
just catapult the whole thing. And for young people, they're so tech savvy, Jody. They're so good with computers to start with. They grew up, they knew no other life than having a smartphone. So they have this most powerful computer. This thing's 100 times more powerful than the
Yeah.
first mission to the moon. And they have everything they need right in the palm of their hand. And the world is their oyster. The World Wide Web is right in the palm of their hand. And I would just tell them, just throw yourself into AI, learn all that you can. And with that, learn to be a master prompt person. Learn to do master prompts. The better you are at prompting,
Yeah.
that is a complete game changer because just knowing AI is one thing, but when you can ask the right kind of questions, that changes everything. Tony Robbins was at one time was one of the top 100 most influential people on the planet out of 7 billion people. And Tony Robbins says, if you want a better life, ask better
Better
questions.
questions.
And the whole key is ask better questions. So when it comes to AI and life in general, ask better questions. And then the key to that is always ask questions. Question everything. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with questioning everything. Because you know what, when I see somebody, a young person that questions me a lot, other than my kids because they don't want to go to bed back in the day. But when I see a young person that's questioning me, you know, the gears are rolling. They're thinking. And I can pick up on an entrepreneurial spirit pretty quick. But when they're thinking, hey, why is this? Why is that? And when they got that inquisitive mind, that's fertile ground for entrepreneurs to flourish. Because the days of the Ivy League schools and the 150, $200,000 college education doesn't need to be so. I'm all about higher education, folks, but there is a better way. There is a much cheaper way and a faster way to get the end result you're looking for. Do you want that degree on your wall? Or do you want the lifestyle that that degree on the wall 25, 30 years ago would bring you? Do you want that doctor status, that kind of money, that kind of notoriety? Become an influencer. Get yourself out there. Start. Quick story. I got a friend. He's a real estate agent. His name's Andrew Webb. He's from
So
England.
stoked for him. We're gonna give him a call out.
We're giving him a shout out, and he's called his
I
tag
like
here.
it. It's cool.
Yes.
I know.
Andrew Webb is awesome. He's called the Englishman in Dallas. We had dinner with him at Christmas because our kids are grown. They don't have kids.
So we hung out.
And I'm an idea guy. Okay. I'm just an idea guy. And we started talking about social media and stuff like that. And I'm not even on TikTok, but I'm just.
But he suggested for him to get on TikTok.
After this, made me. I just opened up an account with TikTok just a couple days ago. But I said, man, just put cool stuff on there. Pace says, what do you want people to look at your videos? Post cool stuff. And I said, Andrew, get on TikTok and start posting stuff. He's got that British accent. He's this tall, distinguished, good-looking Englishman, and he's got that cool British accent. And I talked to him this morning. He goes, Kevin, guess what? I go, what's that? He says, I'm on TikTok. And he says, he says, I have 2,000 followers. In 13 days, he has 2,000 followers.
Wow.
In 13 days.
Wow.
And he's working with an immigration attorney.
He's working an immigration attorney. He has a video. He has one of his TikTok videos that has over 100,000 views. And he's only been doing it 13 days.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I have to watch and see what he's putting out there. He's been that's cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's so pumped up. I mean,
He's so excited.
he's 49 years old and he's found his niche. I said, what are you posting, Andrew? He goes, I did what you said, Kevin. Just posted a bunch of different stuff, bunch of cool stuff. A little bit's he's a real estate agent. He's a unicorn agent. And if you guys need an agent, a real estate agent here in Dallas, Fort Worth, he knows creative finance better than any. I've talked to literally thousands of real estate agents. He knows real estate, creative real estate, mortgage methods, novations, all of that better, wraps, all of that better than any other real estate agent I've met. The Englishman in Dallas, look him up, Andrew Webb. He will do you right. And the nicest guy you ever meet. But he says, I put a little bit of real estate on there. And he says, I just put other cool stuff. I just talked about my life when I lived in England, how my house looks here compared to how it was in England. And just simple things like that are cool that people go, huh. And he is gaining serious momentum. It's just like, I got to get my butt in gear. I got to catch this guy. I want to give him the idea. And I'm stalled out with 0 followers. So, I got to get my tail in gear. So,
Make you look bad, don't he?
What's that, Bill?
You make you look bad, don't he?
He made me look real bad. I'm feeling like a slacker over here. But I was super happy for him. I'm just super happy. He's stoked. We're stoked, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
It's all good.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
He's a great guy. Sorry, Jody, that was a very long answer to a pretty short question.
No, it's perfect. It's that's in some of what we're doing. That's exactly what I plan on. It is not just drop. We're obviously aiming for young kids and starting with stories so they get a base, and then after the base, and which some of that is like you were saying, the failures and all that. You got to look at all that as a win, not a loss. And of course, the old system, the system that everybody else still lives by, is just the opposite. It's teaching you against failure versus you want to fail and fail fast and fail forward. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And encourage them when they do fail. You know what? Congratulate them, pat them on the back, take them out for ice cream, and say, you know what, son, daughter, I'm proud of you. You know why I'm proud of you? Because you took a chance. You stepped out in faith. You took a chance and you failed, and just hold your chin up. Because I tell people when a business fails, and I've had a lot of them fail, what happens with people when the business fails, they take it that they're a failure. No, your business plan was a failure. Maybe your timing was off. Maybe you had the wrong audience. Maybe you didn't have enough operating capital. Maybe you just weren't making the right contacts. Maybe it was the wrong time of the year. Maybe you lived in the wrong part of the country. There's so many things that can go into that. And one last thing I will say about that, Robert Kiyosaki that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that book 20-some years ago, and this statement he made in there stuck with me like glue. He says in that book, this is a very poignant point. He says, poignant point, where did that come from? A very, very big point. He said, you know, the reason that most people don't step out and try to be an entrepreneur, the fear of failure is much stronger than the reward of success. And of the people, he says, that do step out for the first time into the entrepreneurial world and try to make it on their own and get out of their W-2, the corporate job. And when that fails, 90% of those people never try again.
Nope.
They go back to the corporate world and they go, oh, that was a failure. I must be a failure. It doesn't work. That's a bunch of hogwash. No,
which is
you're not a
just
failure. Maybe the plan was a failure. And don't attach the plan to your identity.
Yeah, your
Do
worth.
not connect the two together like
Just
that.
keep being curious.
Yeah, being curious and getting out there and trying.
yep. I actually got a cousin that COVID actually helped his business fail. And I mean, successful for lots and lots of years. It wasn't great. It was just, make pretty good money, successful. COVID put him out of business, and he did take it to heart and everything, and the whole mental crisis afterwards and everything. It's just not the way to do it. And I think that's of course where our current system fails every kid is not, you prepare them for just the opposite of what real life is, and that's what it does.
Yeah.
100%, Jody. 100%. Yeah, and that part's unfortunate. The education system is really stacked heavy against the entrepreneurial, and they got all these rules and regulations, and you got to go through the school system and all that because I don't want to get into all the metrics of that because I think we all know what that's all about. But there is a different way. There's a better way, a cheaper way, and I think a more rewarding way because it pains me to see these young people coming fresh out of college and they're in their early 20s and they're carrying 60, 80, $200,000 worth of college debt. And I've known people that have carried that debt for 30
Yeah.
plus years and they're still paying it off. And I just think, man, well, I don't think, I know. I'm like, but I'm very mindful about people and their education. When people are sold on having higher education,
Yeah.
and if that's that, it doesn't take long talking to them to where if that's where they go, I'm not going to challenge them on that. But like when we got the young impressionable mind, Jody, like you're talking about, all day long, I will encourage him all day long to go that route. Gary Vanderchuck is a big influencer. He's probably one of the most forward-thinking people out there. He's a guy that spots trends before trends ever become a trend. And the thing he said, you know what? He says college education. He says higher education. He says, that's just a really big way to set yourself back before you even get going.
Yep.
He says he's a guy that was saying it before even I was. He's been saying that for 20 some years. So there is an alternative to that, folks. There is.
There's definitely a better way. Even if you're one of them people that thinks the higher education is the way to go, make sure you do the homework like you were having to do it
Wow.
back in the 70s before the government got involved. You had
Right.
to go prove that you had a viable thing before you could get a loan on it. But there's still other ways. I've got a niece that actually she's working on becoming a doctor right now. She has zero student loan debt. She
Good
works
for her.
and going to medical school. It's not just the easy stuff. This is literally medical school while she works and she pays for it as she goes. And so
Yeah,
it
good
may
for
be
her.
rough and everything, but there's better ways. And that's the thing is open your mind to better ways.
Absolutely. Good for
Yeah.
her. And like I say, Jody, you have to go to higher education if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's some young people that have that passion. They have it set in their mind going, you know,
This is my heart.
this is my heart. This is my passion. I want to help people. I want to work, operate on people and give them a better life. But at the same time, with that is work hard. Who's it? Your niece that did that?
Yeah, my niece is doing that right
Yeah,
now.
work hard
She's
and
in
pay your
like her
way.
fourth or fifth year of college of doing this. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Marcie put herself through school. She worked
I
two
did.
jobs and put herself all the way through school, 4-year degree, got her bachelor's and didn't carry any
Had no
and
student loan debt.
no
No
student loan
loans.
debt, paid it all off, everything did that route. It was tough.
Yeah. Went to a private school for Drake University. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a space and time for it. But I think to your point, Jody, I think what you're doing is awesome,
Yeah.
right? Because even just creating the awareness for somebody who is like in that childlike state going, hey, oh no, what is it? Like at least you're introducing it even before they get to high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because by the time they get to high school, some of that curiosity gets blunted because of, whatever situation they have at home based on the relationships that they're around, right? Because if you have two parents and that's their thing and they've been working 40-hour jobs for however, they don't know any better.
Right.
Like, how are they
Yeah.
going to train their child up to be an entrepreneur? You don't do that. You have to go out
That's
and
it.
learn from the hard knocks and go out and do it. And that's what, yeah. I've had the
Both
privilege to walk alongside him.
both my parents were teachers, and that was their thing is you had to go to college, you had to do this, this, and this. And it's like,
Yes.
I wish I hadn't have sent my kids to college. I don't think it benefited them any. But they
Wow.
did.
Well,
Yeah.
I do have to say,
And all they do
because
is teach you to have a job, and you spend the rest of your life working a job, and end up broke anyway. So
Right,
exactly.
right.
the way it's gonna work, it's not good for you anymore. It's not. I don't think it's a good thing anymore, especially when they've gone crazy the way they are nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. There is a better way. There is a better way to do it for sure.
Totally.
I think
But
that
not everybody can put that mindset together. Like so, there's 90% of the American public is locked into that, W-2 mindset, and they're not going to ever get out of it because they want that paycheck. They can't risk it. They're not going to take that risk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's where the system really is robbed them because I was one like I said, I was entrepreneurial like Kevin there, but I was also good at school. And so when a teacher shut me down from the entrepreneurial stuff, it just become snowball into the other stuff I'm good at, which was school. And then it was way after school when I went to learning. No, they got me wrong, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
so encouraging kids, and I think the younger off we do it, the better, because kids are creative when they're young, and then we put them in a system that knocks it out of them. And
Yeah.
so, unfortunately, half of these problems, probably more, would be solved if we just had a better system. And
Yeah, you just allow them the opportunity, right, to at least see what it is and how does it work. And like we were even talking the other day, because every time he talks to like a youth oriented type person, what, and they're like early teens to maybe early 20s, like that kind of like age bracket. And he'll be like, oh, yeah, you're doing the thing, right? They go out and create whatever little tiny side job, side hustle that they're doing. And then he's like, well, do you have an LLC? And they're like, what's that? So like just those little things though, like to be able to learn about that when you're in high school versus learning about it later, like so at least you have context.
yeah,
I've been teaching young people, not officially in a class, but I've been teaching people of all different ages about the power of having a sole proprietorship. What I call the eighth wonder of the world is tax write-offs. And there's so many people I run through this quick scenario of, you know what, you got a side hustle. This one guy, I said, what do you like to do? What's your passion? He goes, I like watches. I like buying watches. And his name was Zach. I said, you ever thought about opening up Zach's watches? I guess just go down and get a DBA, doing business as. I said, as soon as you do that, and then you register with the IRS, I says, all of a sudden now you can start writing off part of your house, your electricity,
Mhm.
your clothes, your cell phone, your car, all kinds of things. And all of a sudden, when you can't even hit a Schedule C, that $3,000 deductible, because he couldn't even hit a Schedule C. And I walked through a quick little scenario in less than 5 minutes, and I showed him how he could write off $8,000 or $9,000 in 5 minutes. And he's just like, "Oh my God!" And I'm going, it's really simple. It's an IRS tax code, okay? And I'm just giving a quick overview. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
you've
yeah,
worked
those,
with us here, you know.
and Jody, you're saying the young people, our education system deprograms them and takes it it it
It
it
doesn't
knocks
provide.
that creativity out of them. It pulls all the creativity out of them and like turns them into a bunch of little drones, go do this job and all that. And they lose all their creativity, and kids by nature are so inquisitive and curious and creative and all that.
Yeah.
We spend the first 12 years of their education knocking out all of their system.
Yeah.
You
Because
know what I mean?
what do they say? The average 2-year-old asked the question why like close to 4,292 times in 72 hours.
wow,
Like,
It was the same
what is
question over and
that?
over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why is
yeah,
the
Why?
sky blue?
Why?
Why is the sky blue?
Yeah. But
Why?
think
Why?
about
Why?
it though.
What?
Like,
yeah,
yeah. As we
It's
all get older, like what's the number one question we don't ask? Why?
why?
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I think just getting people
The-
curious.
And you see, and
The
young
government
people,
wants to keep them
kids,
dumb though, so they can keep them in drones mode.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's not
100%.
accidental, I guarantee you.
exactly.
Not accidental at all, Bill.
Mm-mm.
Don't get me on that soapbox. We don't have enough time.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for that one. I get way up on my high horse on that one.
Gosh.
You,
Thanks so
you
much
know,
for
though,
asking.
the cool thing about being an entrepreneur and stuff that I think is just that, like you were talking about being an idea man, So y'all know I took this little trip, and we stopped on the way back at my wife's uncle's house, and both uncles are there, and they're both upwards in their 60s and stuff. And within just chatting with them for a few minutes, I was able to give them both ideas that they'd never thought of, that their information that's in their head is so valuable to other people. One of them,
Yes.
he's went through the challenge of mental illness, and he didn't just accept it and want it like most of the people in the facility he was in. He's like, I started reading books, and this is what I started doing. I'm like, dude, that's an ebook somebody needs. That's
Yeah.
information that the guy that's in his spot when he started needs. And then the other one was a contractor, most of his life, and learned, he kept the inquisitive mind, is how he put it, is they taught me this one step, but that wasn't enough. I needed to learn the next step, and then I did learn the next step, and then before it's said and done, he's running multiple different crews and everything. So he's built his own business out of being curious and going through that process and everything.
Wow.
So
I
That's
love that. Yeah, and
awesome.
see, like you said,
Yeah.
and the older people got a wealth of information, Jody, like you said. And like you said, there's somebody out there that could use that, needs that, and just getting them to extract that is, and like you say, these days now with AI, you can write yourself an ebook in an afternoon,
oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
You can, and if you're not sure, you can actually just, like you were talking about, get somebody to write you a prompt to pull the right information out. That's huge. So there's so many
yeah,
different ways nowadays for everybody, not just the young, not just us, but literally, I don't care what your path is. You're an individual that's unique, and you've got a unique story, and somebody needs to hear that story.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And right now, I mean, AI is your ghostwriter.
Hmm.
You give it the high points and just and then you can give it the tone and flavor you want. You can make it humorous, make it exciting, make it adventurous, make it dramatic, and it'll write the tone any way you want. Educational, inspirational.
Yep.
You set the tone and turn it loose, and it's amazing what it'll do. She had to write a book. She wrote 125
I did
page
it
book,
old school though,
old school
There's
before
no
AI.
chat GPT there. It took a,
Thousands of edits,
yeah, it
thousands of
was
edits. She
crazy.
spent months on that book, and now people are cranking these books out in an afternoon.
We're like,
She did it
dang.
Yeah.
old school style.
Yeah.
I was so proud of her. She did such a good job on that.
Yeah, it's about freedom. It's called obsession, and nobody can ever remember it. Which,
Yeah,
if you're gonna write a book, make sure you got a simple title. So if I
yeah,
learned anything through this process of writing a book, it's called Obsession. It's the memoirs of a minimalist. So we went through this whole phase and like purged so many things. Like we
yep.
were like, oh, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this.
Downsize,
We really thought at
downsize.
one time, even with four critters, that we were gonna live in an RV and travel.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
I'm like, maybe not.
But we had a big, we had a pretty big house. We
I just
decided
want to talk about that. He's got, 35 people and 14 dogs living in his trailer.
who does?
Jody.
Jody.
Oh my gosh,
So
Dr. Doolittle there.
yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So well, me and the wife, after my girls were grown, decided that we were going to start traveling, and in the process of doing that, we inherited her sister's four kids, and of course
Aw.
we still
Oh,
had dogs, and I'm like, we're going to do this. So literally, I'm sitting in the same camper that we ended up buying then to do it.
wow.
This is
That's
six years
awesome.
Good for
6 years
you.
later, and it's not went perfectly, but it's been pretty cool.
Life doesn't go perfectly, Jody, as you
No.
know.
Yeah.
You could be living in a humongous house by the golf course, and your life wouldn't go perfect there
Oh,
either.
that's the
Yeah.
one thing about it is, we had a 2,000 square foot house in Colorado when we started this mess. And um, as far as living, I would much rather do this than that 2,000 square foot house that I don't get to see and I don't get to do. And I'm literally stuck in the grind because the outgoing stuff is way more than what you can get coming in
Yeah,
versus
and
this way, and the experiences and everything. And of course, those four kids, there's um At 16, the next to the oldest one was like, he went into Job Corps, and he was like, I've been to 17 states, and he only counted the ones that we'd stuck in long enough that, it made it
Yeah.
worth counting. And so
Wow.
that's huge in itself. Most adults haven't been in that many states.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
awesome.
And that whole thing about that RV, and we went down that road at one time, then we thought no, and now her mother is we moved her from Iowa because she had a stroke and she's paralyzed on the right side of her body. She lives 5 minutes up the road from us, so
Yeah.
traveling around the country is not even it's not in the cards right now. But down the road someday that may
Maybe.
be, because I look at people like you doing that, Jody, and I've known a lot of
It's
people like you that have done that. I'm like, I want to do
See,
that.
see
I want to
my
go out on the road. I want to do that. And you see so much of the country and you got new experiences all the time. And if you don't like where you're at, pick up your
it's time
gear,
to
hook up the
yeah,
trailer, and head on down the road.
yeah,
Gas up the truck and away you go.
yeah.
I love that kind of lifestyle. But
Yeah.
I've always been pretty spontaneous too. But that gets you in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, I've got that same problem myself. So
But that's a cool life, Jody. And God bless you for,
Yeah, for
stepping up to the
stepping
charge,
up.
taking care of those kiddos like that. God bless you, man. I love
Absolutely.
my hat goes off to you and your wife, Jody. That is huge kudos to you, brother. Huge kudos. I
Exactly.
love hearing that.
thank you,
Like
thank
that is
you.
That's a
definitely a
that's a
double
big
thumb.
commitment there, and I love that. I
It's been
commend
a
you for that.
it's been a huge adventure, that's for sure. And as you know, by raising your own kids, you learn a
Mhm.
lot raising kids, and these obviously taught a whole lot more than even mine taught. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love that. Good for you.
I mean,
Crazy.
yeah,
Well, thank you guys so
it's been
much for
good.
having us.
So, what's the best spot somebody wants to get a hold of y'all to get your help, whether the card stacking or with the
Yeah, you can go
relationship
to,
stuff? Because that is obviously the tough line in anything in life is keeping a relationship together. What's best ways to get a hold of y'all?
let me share.
Sure, go ahead.
So they can go to truststackhq.com, and that gets them towards all the information as it relates to credit stacking. Or they can go to the Couples Revolution page, which is a Facebook page, just to kind of get an idea of who we're about, what we're doing. But if they want to go full in, you can go from the flip from stalled to unstoppable community page, and that takes you right in, and then you'll get contact with us,
Yeah, and what we do is we have a Thursday night 7 o'clock Zoom
which we'll get to catch
every week.
tonight.
Yeah, that we'll have here in a little bit. We do that every Thursday night. So yeah, we have that every week, and we go through a different lesson every week and teach them a little bit about AI prompting and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and just equip them with tools, relationship tools.
it's cool. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. We love it.
That is so cool how you tied AI into helping couples. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think we're
It's been cool. Like this, like tonight, it's called the Sunday Asset Protocol, which is like it's going to be our trademark value aid that we're sharing because it's all about like financials. And it's not like Dave Ramsey or it's not like all
no.
like Susan,
Just
the
talking things
financial
out.
guy. It's
Yeah,
just
not
talking
Susan
through it.
Orme, Susie
Yeah,
Orman or
thank you.
whatever. No, we're not going to give you a step A to
Yeah,
Z, but we're just getting the conversation out there where you talk about these things instead of just burying them. And I want to go into, but yeah, we do that every Thursday night. It changes
that's the
all the
teaser.
time. That's the teaser. It changes all the time, and we're pouring into couples, and we're expecting great things. Our goal for this year is to reach 1,000 couples.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's our goal.
we're just under 300. So come on over and say hi. We want to
Yeah.
love on you.
Yeah.
Well, you're a third there, and you got 11 months and change to get there. So
I know,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
should be
We're looking for that
Great.
exponential growth. All of a sudden, something you get a certain amount of momentum and then takes on a mind of its own. And we're working on
Yeah,
some different strategies on that. That's what we do in our spare time.
exactly.
Constantly working on strategies.
And how do
you
you
have spare
find spare time the way y'all
time.
have?
You got spare time? Where'd that come from?
Right?
Right? That's what
Yeah.
we say.
Flipping
Yeah.
houses and all the other stuff you're doing? Yeah, I don't think you got too much spare time going around there,
We
dude.
got spare time.
A little
Time
bit.
condenses, Bill.
Yeah.
Between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So our New Year's
exactly.
resolution was to get up at 4 a.m. We're like, yeah.
Freedom.
We made it 4:30. We haven't made it to 4 o'clock
Yeah,
yet.
we're
Like
looking at 4.
4:30 is still pretty early.
Mm.
We're working our way there. Next week it'll be 4 a.m.
Yes.
to work on that.
Wow.
That's cool.
It's awesome, guys.
Appreciate y'all coming.
Hey, thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us, guys. Really appreciate you, man.
You
It's
guys
always
are
good hanging out with you guys because
you
we get to hang out with you outside of here too. And we enjoy our times with you guys for
We're
sure.
grateful for you both.
Grateful big time for you
Awesome.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a
Appreciate
great
you.
night.
Y'all have a great one.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.